Welcome. Today we're going to look at the temperature conversion chart found on your ESRT. This chart allows us to convert temperatures between Fahrenheit, Celsius, and Kelvin. We need to look closely at the scales for each of these measurements. If you look closely here, you'll notice that the Fahrenheit, each of these little baby tick marks, for example, between the 120 and the 140, counting up, each of these tick marks is worth 2 degrees Fahrenheit. Remember, degrees Fahrenheit can be abbreviated with a degree sign and a capital F, and I'm just going to write a number 2 on top to remind us that each of these little tick marks on the Fahrenheit scale are increasing in increments of 2 degrees. Now let's jump to the middle, the Celsius. Celsius can be abbreviated with a degree sign, capital C. And when we look closely here, I'm just going to focus on the 20 degrees Celsius and the 30 degrees Celsius. Each of the little tick marks in between here is increasing at a rate of 1 degree. So I'm going to write a giant number 1 on top of Celsius to remind us that they're going up by 1. Last but not least, that brings us to the Kelvin scale, abbreviated capital K. If I look at the 330 and the 340, again, each of the individual tick marks on the Kelvin scale is increasing at a rate of 1 degree per tick mark. So we need to be able to use this chart to convert temperatures between each of these units of measurement for temperature. You'll notice they give us a couple of key important facts. We've got room temperature, water freezes. If you follow this dashed line all the way across, you'll be able to tell what each of these measurements is in either degrees Fahrenheit, degrees Celsius, or Kelvin. Generally speaking, the rule on this chart is as you move toward the top of the chart, the temperatures increase, giving off more heat. The heat is more intense. As you move toward the bottom of the chart, you're losing in intensity of heat, the temperatures become colder, and less electromagnetic energy is radiated. One of the examples I've seen, some of the questions I've seen over time, is which of the following temperatures gives off the greatest amount of heat energy? And some of the choices might read something like 140 degrees Fahrenheit, 70 degrees Celsius, 320 degrees Kelvin. So a lot of times, students who maybe are rushing will look at those choices and they'll say, oh my goodness, it's definitely the 320 degree Kelvin. It's the biggest number by far. However, when we go and we actually look at those temperature readings on this scale, let's find them. 140 degrees Fahrenheit sits right here. 70 degrees Celsius sits right here. 320 degrees Kelvin right there. So when you're looking at who's closer to the top, it's actually the 70 degrees Celsius, that ends up giving off the most heat energy. A couple of other sample questions. Before we bounce, I'm just going to clean this up so we can refer back to it and see clearly. I will leave my scale reminders 2, 1, 1. And a couple of sample questions, like this one. An air temperature of 30 degrees Celsius is equal to. Now, before I bounce back to my scale, notice all of my answers are given in degrees Fahrenheit. So I basically just need to do a straight conversion from Celsius to Fahrenheit. Back to the chart. 30 degrees Celsius is equal to how many degrees Fahrenheit? Well, 30 Celsius sits right here. When I move to the left, I know it's very nitpicky and the tick marks are small, but you need to strain your eyeballs a little bit and be as accurate as possible. Remember, I'm going up by 2s, so this becomes 80, 82, 84, 86. Looks like maybe about 86 degrees Fahrenheit. When I bounce back to my choices, 86 degrees Fahrenheit, choice D would be the way to go. Another sample question. A temperature of 104 degrees Fahrenheit is approximately equal to how many degrees Celsius? So let's see, 104 Fahrenheit, back to the scale, 104 Fahrenheit. Let's see, 100, 102, 104 Fahrenheit. Now I'm bouncing to the right. It looks like it puts me right on the 40 degrees Celsius mark. Let's look at our choices. 40 degrees Celsius. And last but not least, a temperature of 20 degrees Celsius is equal to a temperature of how many degrees Fahrenheit? So let's see, 20 degrees Celsius, how many Fahrenheit? 20 C, how many F? Well, my 20 degrees Celsius sits right here, and they want to know how many degrees Fahrenheit that would be. Going up by 2s on the Fahrenheit scale, it looks like it's somewhere between 68 and 70 degrees. Let's eyeball our choices. Oh, 68 degrees Fahrenheit. I hope you found this a helpful review on how to use the temperature conversion chart in your Earth Science reference table. Thank you.